What's up, guys? Welcome to the SATS Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. I hope you guys had a great week. My week was awesome. I am on a 9 jiu-jitsu class streak. I haven't missed a class in 3 weeks. No injuries. I'm sore, but I'm not injured. And Monday, well, not Monday. There's no class Monday. I think there is class on Monday, but no class on Friday. But Monday will be my 10th class in a row. I'll be in the double digits. Super stoked. Today we're gonna chill because it's a special episode because we're so close to 4th of July. So it's gonna be a long weekend. We're gonna take Monday and Tuesday off. We're not gonna do the show Monday and Tuesday. We'll be back Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I'm still gonna stack on Monday and Tuesday. So hope all is good. What up, Bosker? Let's go. Thanks for tuning in. Leonard, what up? So I hope you guys have had a great week so far. And I hope you guys are having a good weekend too. I mean, you have good weekend plans. Chilling, dude. Just took a shower after jiu-jitsu class. I feel great. I feel like beat up, but in a good way. Got a new shirt. It's a honey badger. Honey badger don't care. It's a honey badger with laser eyes. Because he knows you can't F with his Bitcoin. Can't mess with my Bitcoin. Self-custody. Right? Self-custody is the key. All right. So let's jump into the beginning of the show with our first segment, which is the SATS Strength Index. Let's go. How many Satoshis can you buy for a single dollar? Right now. The price of Bitcoin is 30,430. What up, Carl? Let's go. Hey, thanks for coming in. I miss. Yeah, Oscar, you gotta jump in, dude. What up, everybody? Welcome to the show. If you hit that like button, type in stacked in the chat so we can shout you out. Thanks for doing that, Carl. And Leonard and Oscar. Thanks, guys. So the SATs today, if you have $1, you can buy 3,287 Satoshis. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. It's the smallest denomination of Bitcoin. $1 has 100 pennies, and one Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis. So a Bitcoin is more divisible than the dollar. So don't be fooled into thinking you can't afford to buy Bitcoin. You can buy Satoshis all day. You can buy $1 worth of Satoshis and you'll be holding 3,286 Satoshis. And that is, we call it SATS for short here on the show. But if you can accumulate slow and steady 100 million SATs, you'll have a whole Bitcoin. You can call yourself a whole coiner. Okay? If somebody sees you on the street, tries to get you to order a Bitcoin online, it doesn't look like this. Okay, this is not a Bitcoin. This is a this is a coin. It's a coin that looks like a representation of a Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is not physical. It exists only on the blockchain. It's a cool prop to have, though. It's a cool prop to have. So maybe when you have accumulated a whole Bitcoin, you can buy yourself a little prop like this and say you're a whole coiner. Okay. Anyway, let's see. I love the chat happening, guys. Very nice. Thanks for keeping the chat flowing. All right. So that was a SAT Strength Index, but I didn't finish it. I got distracted. So if you find yourself over the long holiday weekend walking down the street, see a penny, pick it up, and all the day you'll have 32, almost 33 Satoshis. Do you remember when you can buy 40, like it was like 40 in the 40s? Now it's in the 30s. It's gonna fluctuate always. But at one point, when one Bitcoin is worth $1 million, one Satoshi will be worth 1 penny. It's wild. So wild. First time over 70. Oh, nice, Carl. Dang, dude, you broke the spotty barrier. Very nice. That's awesome. That's really good, actually. That's really good. Gotta. That's when you gotta turn up the heat. We're towards the end of the tournament, so that's a good job. All right. So there. That was the SAT strength. Go back to main menu. Change my screen. All right, and now we're gonna jump into the why we stack segment. Especially now that we're gonna celebrate 4th of July. What are we celebrating on 4th of July? We're celebrating the independence of Americans from Europe, from the English, right? From the people that left England to come to America and pursue a way of life that's more free, with less restrictions and less taxes and freedom of religion, right? And then inevitably we started to impose those same restrictions on ourselves, right? So people started migrating west and to pursue property, right? To pursue freedom. We made it all the way to the west coast, and we ran out of unincorporated space. We ran out of areas to flee to that were outside of the control of the government. And this is where we're at now, right? The migration west continues, but it continues into cyberspace. It continues into Bitcoin, okay? You can still have financial freedom, free of taxation, free of inflation, when you put the value that you're trying to save into Bitcoin. That's all I got, guys. That's what I got. Think about that this weekend. If you have time, go through the videos I've been putting together through our Discord server under the Bitcoin basics. Throw it on, throw it on the background. Just listen to it, and slow and steady. You will start to open your eyes and start to see all of the crazy ways that make us pay for things that you and I don't get to vote for, right? You don't get to vote for different things. They just get to decide what they're going to spend money on, and you're putting up the bill. It sucks. Anyway, I saw a meme the other day, which is pretty dang good, I must say. It's a meme of a person waking up out of bed after having a dream. And let me see if I can find it before I tell you what it's about. I think I might have saved it on my phone. A second. Real quick. I have my meme folder in here. Oh, I don't have that one. Dang, I wish I would have had that one. He wakes up out of bed in a cold sweat after having a dream, and he has a realization, and he wakes up, and the thought bubble says, if the government can print as much money as they need, why do we have to pay taxes? And that just kind of blew my mind. Because if the government can print, if the government's got the money printer rolling, right? And they can print as much money as they want, why should we pay tax? Why do we have to pay taxes? Right? If they're inflating that away, I'm about to eat. I'm still in my fishing clothes. Let's go, Carl. Yay. Enjoy, Carl. But you have to let us know what you're having for dinner. That's very nice. Well deserved, dude. Well deserved. A 70 is getting over 70 is a feat. Nice job. All right. So, food for thought on this long weekend. Carl, right? It's a little bit delayed for me, your reactions, right? But yeah, dude, like that blew my mind. And then that post you put in Discord earlier, Carl, with the additional boat taxes, right? It's like, dude, right? If you can print all the money, well, it's because they're not supposed to do that, yeah. But they do, right? And anyway, this is why we Bitcoin, guys. This is why we Bitcoin. This is why we stack, which is the official name of the segment. But this is why we stack, okay? Because you can vote every 2 years, every 4 years, or you can vote every time you stack. I vote every day. I'm about to vote right now live. I'm voting to put my value outside of the reach of the government so that they can't use that value to be and steal the purchasing power of that with inflation, and then use that to go fund wars and destroy countries and then rebuild those countries with where like the only people making money are the people making the weapons and rebuilding, which are the companies that are paying for the politicians to get elected, right? So my vote is to get my wealth out of that system, and they can figure it out. Anyway, that's one vote. I'm voting for the Orange Party. I'm Team Bitcoin. I vote orange, bros. Okay, I finally came out and told you guys who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Bitcoin. Okay, all right, show. Nice. Let's go. Carl's like, wait a minute. Yeah, why do we pay taxes? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's wild, dude. We paid taxes so that we're too busy to have thoughts like this, right? If a lot of people understood how the banking system and how the money system works, people would be pissed. I didn't realize that you had to pay property tax on a boat. Yeah, dude. We basically have to pay property tax. Oh, is it separate than like registration? Because I consider registration property tax, right? Like you're registering to you're registering. Like even if your car is outright paid, if you want to use it, you gotta pay registration. But with all those people paying registration and all those driving tickets, right? How come the roads are so jacked up, right? I mean, to me, it seems like all that money should. And I know we have pretty good roads, right? But the roads are not the best, not the best. Think about this. Here's another idea. Not original idea of mine, of course, but it just came to mind because I read it somewhere or saw it somewhere. Do you think the U.S. Postal Service is pretty good, right? Like you have it. It's like a service, right? And they're pretty good, actually. They're yeah, that's exactly true, Leonard. So think of an institution like a government institution like the post office, right? The post office used to be kind of a pain in the butt, right? Kind of like delays and all that stuff, right? Not very good until you had FedEx and UPS come to the scene and provide a better service or similar service, but better service. And that naturally made the U.S. Postal Service better. The U.S. Postal Service, I like the U.S. Postal Service. It's pretty efficient, right? And that's a government run institution, right? But then you look at other government run institutions without competition, and they're just like bureaucracies, right? Like, so think of the DMV, right? The DMV is like, it's a horrible experience, right? It's just a horrible experience. No matter what, if you go in person, you're gonna be in there for 2 or 3 hours, right? And you're watching people. I mean, the people that work there, they're working, right? But it just, if it was, if there was another, like a private company, or maybe another private company that had the ability to also certify drivers, to get your driver's license, right? Then that competition would make the DMV better, the way that UPS and FedEx made the U.S. Postal Service better, right? So I don't know. Just more food for thought for the weekend, because it's gonna be a long weekend, guys. Okay, all right. I like going to the DMV. It's like going to court, yeah, right. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. It's a lot of. So the way it works, Leonard, they don't necessarily pocket the money. Well, they do pocket the money, but they pocket the money, and on top of that, politicians get access to new money first before the rest of the society, right? And so if you have access to the money first, it's got more purchasing power than when it trickles down to the rest of us, right? So just having access to the money first, even by a couple of weeks, a month, it's a tremendous advantage if you're accounting for inflation, right? So that's not the way it should be. That's why we are in Bitcoin, and eventually they're going to print themselves out of existence, and we'll have to start off with a different money, but our wealth will be preserved. I know they used to help there. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's right. In the form of tax credits or what are they called? Yeah, just anyway. Anyway, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And unfortunately, the way that works, it motivates people to not help each other, I guess is the way to say it. You know, like if everybody just depends on the government, then you don't have to build those like relationships and community, right? Like where people in society, your peers, your friends, your family, can help you with different things like purchases or whatever, like you guys loan each other money, that kind of stuff, right? It's just wild the way that everything is set up. And don't even get me started on like the cost of health care stuff, dude. That's just amazing. Like I have a decent job and pretty good benefits, and when I had my first like jiu-jitsu injury on my rib, like I fractured my rib, and dude, it took first of all, the service was terrible. I went to the doctor. I finally got an appointment. They looked at it, poked at it for like 10 minutes, and then they sent me to get an x-ray. Got an x-ray. Didn't hear back about the x-ray for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I kept calling every week, and such didn't get the results back, blah, blah, blah. It took them like a month almost to get me my results. And by then I was already done, like I was already over the worst of it, which was like not being able to breathe and kind of holding my rib in place while I laughed. Right? That's a huge. That's such a long time for like a rib injury. It's like a rib injury. It's supposed to, that should have been like more like critical. What if it was something? What if it was something really bad that was like on the brink of piercing a lung or something, right? They wouldn't have seen that shit for like. Sorry, they wouldn't have seen that for like 3 weeks. And I was like, what the hell, right? So finally, I get the results. Yeah, the X-ray shouldn't take that long. It's freaking digital. You don't have to go develop any film. Like I know the guy's looking at the X-ray because he's looking at it to make sure he got the right spot in the X-ray. So I know it's digital. It's right there. You just got to send it over to the doctor, and the doctor's got to look at it, right? Anyway, I'm getting a little mad. All of that, and about a month later, I finally get a decent result. And they tell me what's going on. Like, yeah, it was fractured, but it's calcified now, and you should be good. Just like don't do jiu-jitsu for another four weeks or something like that. Or another, I forget what it was. I was like, okay, okay, that's it. All right, I guess. So nothing. So I just wasted my time. And I was pretty mad about that already. And then I got the bill, dude. Oh my gosh, my insurance is pretty good, but there's like a deductible you have to meet. And for all of that, the doctor's visit, the rib X-ray, the chest X-ray, it was like close to $600. That's crazy. That's crazy. And for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to see the doctor, and then the X-ray, and having to call them and keep insisting that they give me the results, right? The customer service sucked. It's way overpriced. And yeah, it seemed a lot more like get him in the system and push him through, and then just build a shit out of him. Sorry. Whoa, hello. When I tore cartilage in my knee, it took 6 months to get my. Yeah, dude, 6 months is such a long time, you know. So, needless to say, when I got the next rib injury and the third rib injury, just kind of hung out. as long as I could breathe, I just kind of like toughed it out. But yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And then for my fractured finger, I went to get like therapy, and that was super expensive too. You know, it's like she like massaged my finger, and she put it on a hot, with like a hot blanket or whatever, and then she gave me some exercises, right? Boom, 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 and this and this, right? And yeah, dude, it was like another $130 or more per session, and they wanted me to do like 3 or 4 sessions. So after the first session, I saw how much it was. I was like, get out of here, dude. So wild, right? So crazy. The whole session was probably like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, the therapy session. And don't get me wrong, some people need therapy, right? But should it be that expensive? You know? Should it be that expensive? I don't know. Inflation, I guess. When I tore, I had to suffer in pain and not able to walk very well for the whole. Dang, dude, that's so sad. Yeah. Whoa. That's awesome, Leonard. That's awesome. So anyway, that's just a random rant for Friday, but yeah, let's get into the stack recap. All right, so this week we did pretty good. Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin's going down. We don't give a honey badger about the price. We're gonna keep stacking no matter what. No matter what, we're gonna keep stacking. As long as SAT number go up. That's all we care about. So today, the price of Bitcoin is $30,392, and our average buy-in price is $27,246. So that means that today we will only be buying $10 worth of Bitcoin for our Bitcoin cost average plan. Yes, you heard it right. Bitcoin cost average. We don't use the dollar anymore, not even in our dollar cost average description. So Bitcoin cost average, and today is the 30th. We're halfway through the year, guys. Jeez. halfway through the year. It's insane. Halfway through the year. And then it's 2024. And then the Bitcoin halving. And then it's gonna go crazy. Even if those institutions don't get their ETF approved, it's gonna be wild for the halving. Oh, we don't know how much we got it for. So let's jump into the next segment, I guess. My back surgery cost me $250 for the emergency room copay. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think I have to hit like $2,000 in my deductible before they start really taking care of me. But I was like, I don't even want to spend that much. It's wild. Okay, we're gonna jump into. Yeah, we're actually gonna stack now. So it's time to stack. It's time to stack some stats, boys. Let's go. Oh, my swan logged me out. I'm gonna log back in. Let's get log back in. Oh, so it's taking longer because I have to log in. What a time logging in. Oh, I guess I have to remember all my passwords and stuff. Come on. Can we beat the clock? Can we beat the time? Oof. Come on. You can do this. Oh, am I not gonna make it? Come on! Sorry, I'm trying to log into Swan. I have all these like authentication routes here. Play this song again. I'll play this song again. I'm gonna keep going because I got the mega authentication. Normally I do this right before the show, and I thought it would let me just not log in again. Leave me logged in since yesterday, but it didn't happen. I'm gonna do it now. Okay. Safety first. I'm in. There we go. Ching! Here we go. Let's take some sense now, boys. Buy instantly. Boom. $10 worth of Bitcoin. I'm going to preview buy. Okay. Scroll this down a little bit. Okay. Take a screenshot of this. Okay. To hit the buy button. Okay, here we go. Oh, you have to get insurance too. That's good. Let's go. Alright, we stacked with Swan. Okay, that's good. Now let's update our spreadsheet with the latest information. Here we go. We bought at oops, 30,466. We bought $10 and $10 worth, but it cost us 10 cents, so we include that in there. And that got us 0.000 32823 32823 Satoshis. Copy the formula, paste it here, change the color to clear, and there it is. That's our stack for today. 32,823 Satoshis for $10.10. What a deal. What a deal. Okay. We've officially spent more than $300, almost $305. And the value of the SATS we're currently holding goes to $336. So we have about $30, $31 in gains, really, right? So is this a true price? Is this true inflation? Well, kind of, right? Because the purchasing power of the dollar is going down, and the value we removed from the dollar and put it into the Bitcoin is holding value versus the dollar, because that's why it's worth more today than it was back then, right? It takes more dollars today to buy the same amount of Bitcoin that we've been buying for the past month, right? So that's the theory. That's a principle. Who knows? Bitcoin might drop like crazy and completely reverse, and we'll be down -10, right? Am I going to freak out and sell it while I'm in a negative? Heck no. Hold on to that, right? And buy more, so when it comes back up, you'll be way more ahead of the game, okay? So I'm happy to see it go up, but I'm also sad when it goes up, because it means I'm going to buy less sats per dollar. I want to buy all the sats I can before the halving. Well, I'm going to continue to buy no matter what, right? But remember, the halving is that right? 296 days away, right? It's about 296 days away. And when that happens, the reward for the miners goes down from 6.25 to 3.125 Bitcoin. So in order to keep all those miners happy and mining, it's basically a supply cut, right? A supply cut of the new Bitcoin being released it gets cut in half. So right now the market is receiving about 900 new Bitcoin, I think it's per year, with the current rewards schedule. And this is not new Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin that was created at the inception, but hasn't been released yet, right? And we're pretty much done releasing all the Bitcoin that are ever going to exist, right? So right now the price of Bitcoin is at 30,400, which means that all those new Bitcoins coming out into the world daily, 900 Bitcoin daily, are being absorbed by the Bitcoin economy. And even though it's new coins, it's not pushing the price down. That means that somebody's willing to pay for those new coins, for those 900 Bitcoin every day, right? Or the miners that are mining those coins see the value that it represents, and they know it's worth more than 30,000, and so they're holding on to them, right? So the supply is going up a little bit, but it's all based on a schedule, so nothing's a surprise. We're expecting that to go up, right? So when the Bitcoin halving happens in about a little under a year, the supply available each day is going to get cut in half. So like 450 Bitcoin, right? And so it's going to be more scarce, right? More new Bitcoin is going to be more. So all the additional new Bitcoin that's freshly released will be more scarce, right, than the 900 Bitcoin per day that we have now, right? So it's going to make Bitcoin, I think, more expensive because there's less of it that's not already being held, right? Like for example, the satoshis that I hold, my plan is to never sell them, right? And I'm sure a lot of Bitcoiners out there, their plan is to never sell them because you can't inflate it, so it's never gonna go. It's always gonna keep going up as long as they keep printing money. As long as they keep printing dollars, the price of Bitcoin's gonna keep going up. So a lot of people understand that, and that's why when you see Bitcoin drop like crazy, the people that understand that don't freak out. They just buy more, and they don't sell it because they know it's gonna come back, right? Until, let's just say, for example, something wild happened and the government decided to take responsibility for their expenditures and not just discriminately print money, right? Then they would crush all the banks, like they're doing now with the inflation rate, right? If the inflation rate keeps going up, then all the banks are going to crash. So they can't do that. They got to eventually ease up on that interest rate, and then if they do that, then printing more money, and then Bitcoin goes up. So Bitcoin goes up in both scenarios. So there's no, anyway, it's crazy. So back to the halving. These are the past three halvings. Two halvings? Is that right? Yeah, the past two. I think there's been three halvings. This is just like we had a halving back here, and about a year after the halving happens, you get a nice little rise. So it's back here, went up, and then you get the bear market where it's like after the halving, a couple years after the halving. So we are currently getting close to the next halving, right? This says 532 days, but we just saw it. This is an older chart. We are actually, 296 days away from the next halving. The next halving will happen here in 2024, and then we'll have about a year before it goes crazy, right? And this is already going to happen regardless of whether a Bitcoin ETF gets approved, whether a government decides to take Bitcoin into make it its official currency. That's regardless, right? That's regardless if all the banks crash, and that's regardless of more bailouts for banks and more quantitative easing and more making and more printing of money, accelerated printing of money. This is the bare minimum. You're gonna get the halving push, and then on top of that, if those ETFs get approved and those banking systems and other countries like El Salvador get into Bitcoin and start buying Bitcoin up, because they also see it as an inflation hedge, just like it's an inflation hedge for us personally, it is an inflation hedge for countries, companies, and it's like everybody can benefit, the same benefit, because some other countries' currencies are backed by the dollar, and then the dollar is backed by nothing, right? So there other countries that are like the second layer of money, they're experiencing like inflation, worse inflation than we are, right? But all that said, there's way more upwards potential than there is downside, right? Yeah, we might come back down to see how here it went up and then it came back down. Maybe we are there where it came back down, right? Or maybe it comes back down to here, right? Then scoop up some more Bitcoin at that point and then wait for it to come up. And when it comes up, you have to think about what happened. What would you do? We always have those crazy scenarios, like the ones that people are, Leonard and Carl, like, when we're fishing out there, you're talking about random stuff. And inevitably, sometimes we have the conversation of like, oh, what if like you won the lotto, or like when the lotto's hot, right? And there's like a crazy big jackpot, and you're like, oh, did you buy a lotto ticket? Nah, or yeah. And then what would you do if you won the lotto? Oh, okay, I would do this and I would do that, right? Well, when you hold Bitcoin, you do have to have that mental exercise and go through and think about, okay, well, I've stacked X amount of Bitcoin, and what if that Bitcoin goes to $1 million, right? What if you made it to a whole coin, and you wake up one morning and you check the price, or whatever, or your friend calls you, or I'm texting you, be like, bro, do you see Bitcoin? what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sell at 1 million? Right? Are you gonna? Oh, let's go, Leonard. Yeah, that's a good one, dude. That's a good one. That deserves some guns. If I won the lottery, I'd buy my whole block. That's nice. That's awesome. But yeah, you have to kind of go through that mental exercise and think about what your number is, if you have a number, right? Like, I don't think I would sell, but like, it would be nice to be debt free, right? What if like, what would be your plan, right? Anyway, let's think about it. It's pretty cool. I mean, and it's not, and it's way more likely than winning the lotto, right? I wouldn't move just buy out my neighbors. Yeah, exactly, Leonard. And you have peace of mind, right? And that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So when the Bitcoin skyrockets, you know, that's not when you want to have. That's not when you want to go through that mental exercise. You want to go through that mental exercise right now while you're not in a euphoric state, and think about your plan. What's your strategy? Do you want to maybe pull out the money you already pull out the money you invested and leave the play with the casino's money, right? But then the money you're pulling out is going to go into an inflationary, something that is affected by inflation. Right? If you pull it out into the dollar, why? Right? It doesn't make sense. Like, you went through the process, you made money, but then you're going to pull it out and put that value back into the dollar and then start depreciating. No. So like, that's the thing. If you understand the whole idea, theoretically you wouldn't want to pull it out unless you really wanted to just pay something off, or but like, what if you did this? What if you pull some money out to pay for whatever, and then it keeps going up, and then you're gonna be like, dang, I should have just stayed in it and continue paying off what I was paying off, right? With cheaper dollars, because the longer you can extend a debt, the as long as you have a good interest rate, the cheaper it's gonna be for you to pay it, because you're paying with cheaper dollars, right? Anyway, that's wild. That's a wild thing to think about. More stuff to think about over the weekend. I hope I put a lot of ideas in your brains so you can think about over the weekend. And if you find anybody in your community, in your group of friends, in your gatherings this weekend, that is curious about Bitcoin, or has heard about it but doesn't really understand it, and they want to kind of learn, invite them to the show, please. Invite them to the show. If you can verify that you invited someone to the show and they come in here and get their 1,000 sats, I'll send you another 1,000 sats. How's that? The live studio audience approves. I'm paying you referrals now. I'm paying you referrals and sats. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And stay humble. Stack sats. Good night, guys. Have a good one. Stacking sats, oh yeah. Stack sats every day. Stacking sats every day. Oh, let's go. Okay. I'll see you. Are you gonna stream, Leonard? I'll watch it, dude. All right, gentlemen, have a good night. Nice.